Okay, so good day, everyone, and welcome to our last day of Marriage and Family Week 2021. Let's keep making this journey as families. Let us keep walking together. Today is the Feast of Anne and Joachim, and our theme for the day is I Do. A moral Shatisha quote for today says the desire to marry and form a family remains vibrant, especially among young people. And this is an inspiration to the church. So we really hope you enjoyed this past week of events, activities, prayer, and discussions all around marriage and family. As we come to an end of our series, we hope you have been uplifted to keep journeying together, to become stronger in faith, and continue to live out your blessing. So every day for the past week from 12 to 12:30, we've been having conversations with the AFLC ministry. Our ministries definitely provide a wealth of support, knowledge, experience, and growth to the community as we journey through this wonderful life. Today we have, well, I'm not sure, today we actually have a bit of technical difficulties where our OPT therapist, Lorraine Pouchette, was supposed to join us. So we're hoping she'll join us at some point in the conversation. But we also have a lovely couple to share with us really and truly the renewal of marriage through the intervention of original pain therapy. So let me get straight into the introductions with our lovely guests. So far with Melissa Pascal and Andre Percival, thank you and welcome you guys to this segment today. So I'll introduce you briefly and then we'll just get into some of the questions with you. So Melissa is a recent mother and she leads a food manufacturing second family business. And fun fact, she ran a half a marathon when she was 6 months pregnant. Really? That's a feat. That's really interesting. And Andre, he is a seasoned chemical engineer who has lived and worked in over 6 countries, and he has completed many triathlons and swimming events globally. Ooh, so we have two very a bit athletic people in our presence right here, who is very active. So you guys just tell me briefly about how you guys met and what was the contribution, I suppose, to the decision to getting married besides well, we love each other, what else was there? How did you guys meet?
Andre, you going first or you want me to start?
You can start.
But we met in Tobago. And no surprise, it was I was on a running. I was there for a hash, which is a running group, and that's how Andre and I met. We never knew he was there as an expat. He was in Trinidad at that point as an expat working for, I'm not sure which company he was working for. So it was quite random. I mean, 2 different countries, 2 different people just met. On that one night in Tobago. And then, it developed from there. But what really inspired us to get married? At least for me, I thought, well, I think he would actually be a perfect father. I saw his traits with his first daughter, and he was just sacrificed so much, so committed beyond And I'm like, that is a perfect quality, is what I would like for my spouse, my partner for life, ultimately. I'm not sure why he wanted to marry me at all, actually. That would actually be quite interesting, Mr. P.
Well, he has his opportunity, Andre. Take it away.
Well, yeah, as Melissa said, I met her in Tobago. I was there diving. She took my number. I really wasn't ever expecting a call again, so it was kind of by chance if we got brought together, and a good thing. So, yeah, the relationship really evolved and continued to grow. I think the trust within each other, and that was an important factor. And Melissa has a very light attitude towards life, a very happy-go-lucky person, and she's she's involved in many things as well. She has a great love of animals. She really is a very outgoing person as well. It's something that attracted me a lot to her as well, and we're always willing to try new things. So I think that kind of flavor and the underlying trust and commitment in each other as well that I saw really drew us together, and I think that's why I ended up asking her to marry. I knew it'd be a good journey, a good partner for my journey through life, and that's I think really important when anyone makes a selection, that journey and that finding that companion.
Nice, very nice. How long have you guys been married?
3 years. 3 years already, yeah.
And you mentioned children. How many children you guys have?
2 in total. One from our yes, and one Clara. So Elise is the eldest, and Clara is the youngest at 1 year old, 1 and a bit.
Lovely name, pretty names.
Yes.
Names. So what were some of the challenges that were experienced in the marriage in its three years, you said, that made you decide to participate in OPT specifically?
So, we did OPT before we got married. I thought it was very important for us for me personally, because I knew I had a lot of issues that I wanted to really delve into and really sort out before I made that commitment, and of course to actually join and create something together. But why did I do that? And how? So I did it, and then during the first year, I would say of the marriage was so tough. I was blaming a lot. I was always pointing a finger to say, who else was the problem except myself? So I wasn't taking ownership at all for the tough aspects. I was pointing fingers, and it's only through dealing with going through the OPT, and then after having sessions with Lorraine, was I able to recognize where I was. I was blaming Andre, for large problems, and only when I was able to step back and really be vulnerable and say, no, actually, you are Melissa. You are responsible and contributing so much negatively to the state of where we are.
Right.
But that was a journey. Just to even say that, I mean, it sounds so easy now, but when you are in it, it's nearly impossible. Like you're blinded, and it's so much easier to point a finger. But it's literally, I'm happy as a person, and as a result, our marriage is now so much more beautiful. It's blossoming because of that.
Right. So a lot of inner work definitely went in there for you, especially understanding yourself, and of course, by extension, contributes to the relationship in the marriage. So you identified that. Andre, was it the same thing for you? Did you identify things, or it was more of a support in the beginning, and then you yourself also kind of benefited individually, and then I guess as a couple?
Yeah, definitely. I think that the OPT therapy and really helped me personally go into my own issues. And I think as men we have quite large egos as well, and sometimes addressing those, you know, we think we're tough and we can deal with it, but it,
Mhm.
you know, on that level to, you know, to forgive yourself for certain things and get yourself in the right place, you know,
Mhm.
first and foremost.
Mhm.
Probably ahead of a marriage, so at least you know the tools that you were taught in OPT to help you go back and really
Right.
self-manage better.
Mhm. Mhm.
You know, some of the issues for us were very different. I mean, we're both very determined individuals with our own agendas, so
Mhm.
together and trying to work out how to best compromise that. And
Right.
also, we come from different cultures as well. I'm
Mhm.
from the UK, was the
Right.
Trinidad and Tobago, so
Mhm.
although I've been here a long time now, but still sometimes how things work and what each other's accustomed to, that took some,
Right.
and it's a continuous process as well. I think that it
Mhm.
never really stops, and we have to continue to use those tools like PT to really
Correct.
help us, you know.
So a lot of things had to be balanced quite a bit in regards to the different personalities, backgrounds, upbringings and everything played definitely a part into it. Was there anything specifically was the major challenge that you really had to hurdle through as a couple, or was it just a bit of everything as you kind of both mentioned?
You know, I recognize I had, as personally, I had a lot of healing and forgiveness to actually to work on.
Okay.
And when I was able to really identify that,
Mhm.
it was almost as if its emotional blockage was just removed. It's like literally you have a clogged toilet and you just need to literally declog. Um, and that, and increase my spiritual journey and be consistent.
Right.
And, the more that you surrender
Mhm.
to God's
Mhm.
plan
Mhm.
and determine what is your purpose on this planet, what's your why, I
Mhm.
don't know, I find as if the universe literally gives you every imaginable thing that you want.
Right.
I found as if the more clarity I got and took more responsibility, I found as if
Right.
really, really blossomed because I was responsible for myself and I was able to listen to Andrew better. I was able to
Right.
read him. I mean, sometimes I don't, and I have to check myself. I'm like, oh gosh, because he talks a lot. Andre is a talker and I'm not as much. I'm more like a doer, so it's like that difference as well, where you have to
Right.
be very accommodating to the other person as well. Yeah, Andre brought up the 5 languages of love, because
Mhm.
we each, receive love and want to be loved in a certain way. And understanding that and really focusing on that
Right.
really at least helps us. One of the things
Right.
that we used to do when we actually start back is reading in the night. Yes.
Right. Of course. How did the okay, so a lot of things were addressed, a lot of things were worked on. How did how did OPT really help you guys cope and move forward together though as a couple?
We had to have some very hard conversations. I
Yeah.
mean, brutally hard, honest conversations. What do you want? Literally, okay, yes, we got married. It was a beautiful ceremony. Okay, now we passed that stage. Do we really want to be together? And it was tested.
Mhm.
We could have easily been broken and separated right now.
Right.
Until we went deep and we dealt with
Mhm.
our problems. Yeah, we had to become very honest. We had to break. We literally, I swear, like we almost had to be broken, and then we had to rebuild. Um,
Rebuild together, yeah.
we had to be honest with each other.
Mhm.
How did it help? I mean, we identified where each of us was stuck. For example, I was stuck in toddler stage, 3 to 5 years. Andre identified where he was stuck, and I guess understanding each other's pain points, we were able to navigate. You know,
Right.
so I would not go and personally attack Andre in certain areas because I know that's massive, like massively
Mhm.
sensitive. When you an argument, I have to change my language because if I speak in a certain
Right.
way or speak too aggressively, it would just lead, he would just lock off. Like,
Mhm.
so it's a combination.
Right, right. So definitely a lot of um as I said, just understanding each other's development, even any stage you guys were at or stuck in, and then actually, as you said, I think that honest conversation, as hard as it may be, and really putting everything out there. Definitely, as hard as it may be and difficult as it is, really and truly, it does open up another opportunity for growth, definitely as a couple as well. You both, well, I think you spoke about faith as well. How did the faith also kind of come into the marriage to also assist in building you guys up?
Um, well, before, I mean, I am an extremely faithful person. Like I am,
Mm-hmm.
without that, I literally am nothing. And
Yeah.
I am aware of that. And, so I literally, and Andre, I would say, is not, he is learning that,
Okay.
I very open and very willing. So,
Right.
Mr. Darling, you don't know if you want to say anything about
Yeah,
that.
no, it's definitely, I mean, the journey, the spiritual journey, and my own spiritual journey and that evolving. Melissa's always had, a lot of integrity.
Mhm.
And that's something that, I'm still journeying with right now and still.
Yes.
So I think, OPT really helps you understand your own issues as well and sharing those as a couple. Right there, and COVID added another challenge. We're being around each other a lot,
Yeah.
trying to work through each other's issues. I think any couple would agree with that.
Oh, yeah.
So you really have to work through that. You really have to, pray together, be
Of course.
as
Yes.
a family,
Mhm.
try and forgive each other, as Melissa said a lot. Let the small things go, and don't sweat it too much. It will work out, and you got to have faith in that.
Yeah, yeah, and you're right. I think we sometimes tend to forget that the spiritual aspect of ourselves is still a journey. It's a continuous journey. It's something that, it doesn't just, appear as something like totally full and concrete. It's something that we kind of really work on as time goes by and as we get older as well. So I'm glad to hear that. What's the most important lesson you guys learned in OPT? If you could pick one.
Okay. Why the identifying why I was so afraid of so many things. My core, like what do I protect so much that I'm like it's almost as if I'm safeguarding,
Right.
So and yes, so the fear. Why am I so petrified of certain things? So really understanding that is so powerful.
Right.
I'm now able to, as a result of that, finally be able to start to get to different layers and start to love myself more and say that it's okay,
Right.
I am enough. And that in itself is such
Yeah.
a process.
Yes. I think that's powerful there. That really not just understanding self, but even loving yourself as is, as well as a human being, as somebody who is, I always say, we always work in progresses, we just continuously growing, but to also love yourself even in that moment, as flaws, with strengths, everything.
Even if you fall down, we are still
Yes.
perfect as we are. I mean, God
Correct.
literally says that,
Correct.
somebody has done the worst, you're still perfect. And I think
Right.
that was a concept I did not understand. I
Yes.
just didn't have a clue about it. There was always something lacking. And as a result, I was always clawing and seeking and always running after.
Right. Audrey, how about for you? What was the
I
most
think
important thing you learned?
forgiveness is,
Forgiveness.
I mentioned it earlier, forgiveness of
Yeah.
something that you might have done in your life or something, certain challenges.
Mm-hmm.
And go back to my own childhood and being able to
Right.
forgive myself and maybe question why I would act a certain way and
Right.
try and change those behaviors so that you
Mm-hmm.
get to a better place, maybe not fly off the handle about some things. Certain things are important to you that might not be important to the understanding. So it's a bit of understanding and a bit of, forgiveness.
Giving. Yeah.
Go as well. You can't hold
Yeah.
on to things too tightly.
Being kind to yourself too, I suppose, in some regards, understanding your own journey, your own background, your own everything. And as you said, forgiving and healing as well, things in the past. You guys both spoke about, you guys, it's a continuous journey and you still use a lot of the tools and stuff like that. What do you guys continue to both work on, at least at this current time? And it could just be one thing.
We we both journal.
Okay.
And I believe that is so critical because you're able to track progress, you're able to see
Right.
patterns, and most importantly, you can get mind, you can clear your mind.
Clear your mind, yes.
You know, you can dump.
So the gratitude, I think, is a big thing right now. So Melissa actually is the driver right now. She asks, what are we grateful for today? 2 or 3 things, and
Right.
look at life and that, and thanks to God, and
Mhm.
what's been provided for us. It's so easy to look from the other perspective and look at what you
Right.
don't. But
Right.
let's look at what we do have.
Right.
Marvelous life, and be thankful for it. There's so much abundance, and you just have
Mhm.
to realize that. And it helps in a couple. It really does.
Was so definitely sharing, journaling, really venting it out, and then
I think Krista may be stuck, frozen.
sometimes.
You
Hello?
were frozen there for a bit, Krista.
Oh, okay. I'm just asking if you guys share in regards to the journaling.
Well, we used
Share with
to
each other.
journal together. We both have our individual journals.
Okay.
There is a couple's journal, but
Okay. All right.
written in that together in a while. But what we do consistently, as Andre mentioned, was the gratitude. Like just before we go to bed,
Correct.
I'll ask, or brushing our teeth, the process of winding down.
Right.
Like, what are you grateful for? So we end on
Right.
high frequency. We end on, so we
Mhm.
go to bed with
Correct.
the just, yeah.
Right. That's wonderful. So as it leads to actually my last question for you both, with ending on, as you said, the high and the positives of the day, what positives have you both experienced in the marriage because of OPT?
Positives we have experienced. I believe that OPT was a start of a distillation process. It was start of a refinement process. And once you identify, at least for me, where I identified where I was stuck, and I, at that stage, that treat at that toddler stage, I'm now able to understand why I react in a certain manner. So why I react, and if I want to get to the level of responding, then I have to really go back some notches. Okay, that's the reason why, Melissa, because you still have not leveled up in certain ways. You're still stuck emotionally sometimes at that because you are triggered. So it helps me understand my triggers or understand my real pain. So from that perspective, very helpful understanding my triggers. Why do I react? Yes.
Yeah. Identifying still positive. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, Andre.
Communication has really improved because of that, because we're probably aware, now we are aware of what our triggers are, whereas previously we were thinking we're all good, nothing wrong with me.
Right.
Introspection on self.
Yeah.
Realize that, hey, there is a lot of drivers down, and then trying to have more effective communication. So when we communicate, we can communicate at a very surface level, or we can communicate on another level where we come with a more understanding, a more compassionate a place of love towards each other. So that's really one of the key things there.
Right. Introspection, communication, and as you said, understanding a lot of things about yourself, your triggers, everything. So that in itself is very much a positive thing. So as we come to a close, that was my last question for both of you guys. I really thank you, Melissa and Andre, for sharing honestly and openly your experiences with us and how OPT has really helped you guys and has been part of your journey. I'm really sorry Lorraine couldn't be part of it. We were experiencing some technical difficulties, you guys. I don't know if it's the rain, we don't know, but Lorraine, sorry, couldn't make it. But definitely check out our last week's conversation with the AFLC ministry if you are interested in OBT for sure. So don't forget to, we will be celebrating Holy Mass from 6 p.m. with His Grace this evening. Archbishop Jason Gordon live on Facebook at Catholic TT Facebook page, I believe, and Trinity TV. So tune in this evening definitely for your blessings as families of all kinds and marriages, you know. Definitely as we had this wonderful, fulfilling week, I want all of us right now to keep all families in prayer today. Because families are journeying, we are going through a pandemic still, you know, there are families who are losing. Just this morning, I had a family who lost three children in a fire. So now our family mourns, or there are families who are broken or just going through challenging times because of what's happening. So let's really keep each other in prayer today. Let's lift all our brothers and sisters up in this time of heaviness that we may be feeling. So I want to again thank everyone today. Thank Melissa and Andre. You guys were wonderful. Lovely to meet you guys. And stay safe and stay blessed, everyone. Take care.